Hi, Makeda. Lovely to catch up after so long.
Hi, Merran. Yes, it's wonderful to connect with you here.
Yeah, so looking forward to teaching in the autumn.
Yeah, it's be good fun.
Yeah, it will be great. And I just thinking it'd be nice to get to know each other a bit more as well. And I wonder what drew you to mindfulness in the
Yeah,
beginning.
yeah, thanks for that. I think my own struggles with chronic stress, workplace burnout, depression, and anxiety really had me feeling very desperate for some relief.
Mm.
For many, many years, I tried all of the conventional coping strategies, some of them very healthy, some of them not so healthy. And I remember reading about mindfulness in the book, and it just sounded, the words just leapt out of the page. It's like all of these attitudes like non-striving, patience, trust, compassion. I never realized it was another way to approach life, really. I thought I had to be in driven doing mode all the time to achieve my goals. So I enrolled in an MBSR class and it really helped me. And I became committed after that to share this practice with others.
Mm. Oh, thank you for sharing that. Gosh, yeah, I remember when I was working, I'm a physio by background, and I could see a lot of people who would come and seek treatment. There was often more behind the scenes. I felt like I was often, chatting to them, talking about actually their mental health as much as their
Yes.
physical health. And then I worked in a workplace and occupational health, and there was such a lot of stress. There was so many changes going on in the organization, and we really realized that people were at massive risk of burnout. So as part of the team, we tried to look at what would be a helpful program for managers to help people manage stress, and
Yeah.
for managers to help them do that as well. And so I started doing some research and reading, and the most convincing research was actually mindfulness-based programs. I was very impressed at the sort of level of good quality research that was coming out. I thought, oh, what is this mindfulness? So I thought, well, I better enroll on a course and try it out for
Mm.
myself. And of course, that's the moment you realize, gosh, actually, I needed this. I don't know about everyone else. Absolutely spoke to me. And at that point, I thought, yeah, this is something I really want to do, and be practicing, and I'd love to take it forward as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's interesting, isn't it, how you come at these things at such different angles, but yeah, we discover often similar things.
Yeah, it's really beautiful. And what about becoming a mindfulness teacher? What inspired you to pursue that path?
Well, I think it was really the benefit that it had for me personally. And I was working in a busy occupational health department, but I felt like I also wanted something that I could do on alongside that.
Yeah.
And so I had my eye on the Oxford Mindfulness Centre's master's program.
Mhm.
But it was a massive commitment and quite expensive. So I thought, okay, well, I'll just keep my eye on it. There may be an opportunity. And strangely, we're all made redundant. And so
Mm.
suddenly I had this opportunity of time, and they gave us something to sort of leave. And I thought, oh, I'll go back and have a look at this website. And amazingly, they were actually also offering the foundational training. It was the very first year. So I thought, oh, I think I might apply for this. And it was the last day, the last
Oh my
application
gosh, it was
day.
meant to
It
be.
was meant to be. And I rang them up saying, please, can I still do this? And they said, yes, quickly do it. You have about an hour and a half to fill in this form. So I sent it in. Initially, it was full, and then somebody didn't, had to drop out. So they offered me a place, and it was just the best year. Absolutely
Wow.
loved it. It was wonderful.
Wow. Look at that, from student to now teacher.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
amazing. What a
And how
journey.
about you? What made you decide then to teach as well?
Yeah, I get a lot of parallels from what you shared because, like you, I was made redundant in my job. The
Oh,
state-owned agency I was working for closed its doors. They didn't receive any financing to continue. And I remember I was turning 40 that year and thinking, what am I going to do? Where am I going to work? I'm starting over from scratch. Do I really want to stay in the corporate space? And then, just thinking back on my own mindfulness practice, and I saw how much it helped me personally as a manager, as an employee, just as a human. I just saw the benefits to my mental health. And then knowing that mindfulness is not really a big thing here in my country, I mean, very little is known about it. I was really motivated to, I guess, increase accessibility to mindfulness. So to share the practice with others, but more than that, teach it in a really credible way, in a really ethical way. It was really important for me to get, the proper training so that what I was sharing with my community was evidence-based, rigorously, reviewed and safe to offer. So I did my initial teacher training with a US-based mindfulness organization, and then I did further teacher training with Oxford Mindfulness, where I'm pleased to say I'm now a teacher trainer, and a trustee on the board. So it's been quite a journey, but a very rewarding one.
It is such a rewarding one, isn't it? It's probably one of the best decisions I made. It felt like it was meant to happen, and I just love teaching, and then being able to move into training as well was really exciting. I love really encouraging and bringing on new students and being able to think how they're going to also take this into their lives and their workplaces or their communities, and again improve that access for people around the world. It's a wonderful opportunity.
Yeah, when I think about teacher training, when I before joining the OMF, I would do courses here in my country, and maybe I would have 10 participants or 15 participants, sometimes 8 participants. But with teacher training, the potential for impact is so much greater, because each person you teach is going to perhaps go on to teach 10 or 15 or 20 themselves. So, I think that is what just keeps me going. It's a lot of energy exerted in teaching and training, as you know, but just thinking of the impact and the reach that, what we're offering is going to have, it's just really heartwarming.
I agree. I think that's one of the most heartwarming aspects of it, is that community of people around the world that you feel like we're training up, and as you say, each person then sort of seeds so many different people's opportunities to get to know these practices and really find benefit in their lives. Because you never know. I remember that image of the parachute, and never really quite knowing when you might need to get it when you jump out of a plane. But certainly, in my own experience, I think it is in the most difficult moments, where a number of years ago I had to face a physical health problem where I was, it was potentially a life-limiting condition, and in hospital, really in quite a difficult situation post-surgery. And I just thought, all I need is my practice. Here I am in the bed is soft, and there is just the body being held, and here are these things I can breathe in kindness that everyone was offering me. There are all those things that really, then yes, this is something that actually has such an impact in the most difficult moments. And I think to give people that, and to help people through inevitable ups and downs in all our lives is really helpful.
Lovely, lovely. Well put. A really beautiful sentiment. So if I had to ask you, Merran, the 3 words to describe your teaching style, what would they be?
Oh gosh. Well, I'm quite smiley. I smile a
Same.
lot. I think you do too. I feel like I'm always smiling. So I think probably warmth and sort of friendliness. But I care very deeply for the people on my courses. So there is a real sense of care, of wanting to listen deeply to them, and to hear and validate what their experiences are and care for them. So that's important. I think in the midst of that, there's just real curiosity. I love human nature. It sort of fascinates me. And no one is the same. And, there are common experiences, but everyone's is very particular. And it's just wonderful to hear about people's experiences when they come to a course. and to be
Yeah.
able to share and work with that. I
Yeah.
love it. What about you? What 3 words would you think? I think I had
I
many words.
I think if I had to choose 3 words, it would be thoughtful,
Mm,
sincere, and encouraging.
lovely
So
words.
thank you. I think I'm really thoughtful in my preparations, for
Yes.
the training days. I take it seriously. I think it's a serious responsibility. So, I just thoughtfully prepare and, more than the curriculum that we're sharing, I think about the intentions, and how best these training intentions can be communicated.
Mm,
I'm thoughtful in receiving feedback from others and from the trainees and what their experience is like. So I really want the trainees to feel like held and that this is a safe space and the teacher or the trainer is prepared to listen to them. So thoughtful would be my first word. Sincere would be my second word because I really do care about people and I
yeah.
care about trainees and I want them to have a good experience and I want them to leave the training feeling empowered. Um,
Mm,
and then I think the third would be encouraging because I know how much self-doubt I had when I started off on this path. If I could be a teacher, who am I to teach others? Like I just know how self-doubt can really hold you back. And I just want to encourage people really just to follow that inner voice that that is leading them down this path and let them know that you can do it. Just put one foot in front of the other, take it one day at a time. The longest journey begins with a single step, and just do it. So I would like to think that I'm encouraging and empowering as well.
that's wonderful. I think, gosh, when I hear you say those, I think, oh yes, they're also things that are very much in my mind as well.
Yeah,
Yes, that I love, yeah, love encouraging people, definitely, because everyone has their own style, particularly with teacher training and their own unique experiences and gifts that they can offer. And it's
absolutely.
just helping people find that authentic
Yeah,
self that will be the teacher.
yeah,
It's a wonderful experience. So yes, I was thinking partly about being a teacher, but of course, yes, there's being a trainer as well. And
yeah.
definitely the intentions and the preparation, taking it seriously, but not taking yourself too seriously.
I love that. I
Yes.
love that. Taking it seriously, but not taking yourself too seriously. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that 100%.
Oh, I think
Yeah.
it sounds like we've both all got the same ideas.
Well, I just think authenticity is so important in
Yes.
mindfulness teaching. And I
Mm,
and I always tell the trainees that I teach, I want you to leave your heart print in the world. So, we have like a fingerprint or a thumbprint, but what is your heart print? And I don't want to have a class of 12 Makedas or 12 Merrans. I think everybody has their own voice. And I think that voice is needed in our world and in our communities. So when you speak about authenticity and encouraging authenticity and empowering authenticity, I'm right along with that. Yeah, I think that's
mm,
really, really important, especially
yeah.
at this time, especially at this time.
Yeah, and I love that expression, the heart print. I've never sort of heard it said like that, but I think it's a
Yeah.
great word. I'll take that forward. Thank
Yeah,
you for sharing that.
I can't, it's not mine. I think I saw it on an Instagram post somewhere many years ago, but it really resonated with me.
Yes, it does, because it is true, isn't it? It's helping certainly each trainee to really find that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, wonderful.
Yeah. So, what advice do you have for people thinking about enrolling on the 12-month program? What advice or encouragement do you have?
Advice. Well, I think the encouragement would be to give it a go if you feel that this is in your heart, that this is something you
Yeah,
really want to do. If it really speaks to you and is calling to you, I would really take heart and give it a go. But
yeah,
I think it is also important to balance that with understanding clearly the commitment that's
yeah.
involved. So maybe sort of thinking, is this the right moment? Do
Mm,
I have space? And support? Do I have the right resources for myself to be doing this at the moment? And just also being clear about where you're going to teach, where
Yes.
is that you'll teach, the sort of population group. So they would be my advice. And then just a lot of encouragement to do that research,
Yeah.
gain the clarity, and then trust yourself to have a go and
That's
come and join
beautiful.
us. What
Yeah.
about you? What
I,
would you
I mean, I
advise
love your
someone?
response. I don't feel like I have anything to add. I think it's like was so measured and so intentional and so mindful, apply, encourage people to apply. Don't talk yourself out of it if you think that's a stirring in your heart. But in addition to applying, really just thinking about it, right? Considering it,
Mm,
being thoughtful and deliberate about it, thinking about if you have the resources, the support, the time to commit to the training. Because, while it is an enjoyable experience and very rewarding, it does require commitment and preparation for the training days. So just thinking about, is this the right time in my life to kind of undertake this?
yeah,
So balancing
exactly.
the enthusiasm with the realities of your situation. But above all, not talking yourself out of it based on fear.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, well put, that balance.
Yeah.
Oh. So I guess the only other question I've got, Makeda, is, how do you personally incorporate mindfulness into your everyday life?
Yeah, I think mindfulness is one of the big pillars to my mental health. I like to say I have three pillars to my mental health: exercise, mindfulness, and prayer. And without any one of those three things, I start to feel a little like adrift. So definitely I have a daily mindfulness practice. I meditate for about 40 minutes to an hour every day. It could be a straight mindfulness practice. Sometimes I do a lot of compassion-based practices. Sometimes I do Christian meditations, but definitely a formal practice is an integral part of my mindfulness practice. And then informally, I do the three-step breathing space many times a day, especially if I open an email and it's something that requires urgent attention, right? So definitely the three-step breathing space helps me navigate the day. And then I do the 10-finger appreciation practice. So just a gratitude practice every day at different points in time during the day, just checking in, expressing appreciation and gratitude for what I have. I think sometimes our orientation could be what is missing, what is lacking, what's not right. So just really kind of reining that in and just practicing gratitude every day. I would say that is my daily mindfulness practice. What about you?
Gosh, I think it's so interesting because really you've said things that are very similar. So that, alongside a daily practice, which is such an important start to the day to
Yeah.
me. And sometimes if I'm traveling or doing things, even if it's quite short, just
Mhm.
making sure there's that space for something to start the day. I feel like I've landed, I've sort of on steady ground, and I can really notice the difference if that doesn't happen for whatever reason. And it is during the day. It's almost like a little, think of it as sort of a friendly companion in a way. And I
Right.
think that's when you talk about compassion, I think that's something I really learned, that that little inner voice now is much kinder,
Yeah.
and is much more understanding of myself. So it's a friendly voice. Sometimes it has to sort of remind me, um, but it's there, and it's reminding me to come back. It's reminding me to pause,
Yeah.
um, and just come back to this moment. So particularly, you mentioned driven doing mode earlier, and that's, oh gosh, it's something I think everyone in the world is aware
Yeah.
of. It's a very fast-paced, driven world, and we can all get caught in the slipstream of that so easily. So are those moments where I feel myself
Yeah.
doing that, or there's moments of reactivity inevitably, and just challenges,
Yeah.
they crop up. or just being on autopilot and a bit switched out, as you say, not really tuning into the positive, just letting autopilot sort of notice and be pernickety about sort of the little things that are irritating.
Yeah.
They're like the little reminders. This is a moment. And as you say, the 3-step breathing space is just invaluable. And that real clarity in seeing what's going on there, and that we have a choice. And those moments where that doesn't always happen, there's a choice then to take a moment and go, okay, I can also bring compassion to the fact that it just happened. So it's around all the time. And I think appreciation, that was a practice that really struck me as well. There's so much to be grateful for, really, isn't there? So much. And those little things. And so really being present for them, the taste of the food and the moment that the sun sort of creeps up through the garden, sort of little things, little smiles on someone's face as they walk past you in the street. They're really important.
The conveniences of modern life that we have, electricity, indoor plumbing, a refrigerator to keep our food cold so that it doesn't spoil. I mean, if we really like think about, how many conveniences and how we have benefited from technology and the innovations of other people, it just really makes me very deeply grateful. Well, Merran, I cannot wait to teach with you in October.
I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be so rewarding working together, isn't it? I think we've discovered actually so much that's in alignment, which feels very auspicious.
Yes.
And is there anything else you do in your life? Oh, you said you had those 3 pillars. So are there other things that you do that sort of add nourishment or joy or?
My family is really, really important to me. I have nieces and nephews who I adore. I'm very close with my sisters and my brother and my mom. So we just spend a lot of time together, whether it's on the phone or we might take a little trip or visit with each other. But I just feel like my family is what keeps me going, really, in this world. What about you?
I agree. I think family is one of the most important things. And some of them are overseas, so I don't see all that often, but I'm actually off in a little while to go and spend a couple of months catching up with them. So we have lots of intensive time, which is great fun. And we're in touch. We've got, WhatsApp groups and things, which is, aren't we lucky now that how much easier it is to really stay connected to people and to stay connected with my family in London and do things together. And I also like dancing.
Do you? What kind of dancing?
Well, it's sort of like modern, I wouldn't call it contemporary ballet because that would be giving it really a status that it quite doesn't have, but something that aspires to that with a group of people when I get the opportunity to. And I love going and watching it and dancing around. So
that's really, really lovely. Really nice. I wouldn't have thought so, but it's so great to get to know this other side of you.
Exactly.
Well, Merran, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Makeda. It's been a lot of fun, actually.
Yeah, it has been. And we'll be in touch. Or we'll keep in touch, I should say.
Definitely.